Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the Cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA, the breakout window. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. If you are staking your ADA with either the ITC or ITC2 stake pools, which of course stand for Into the Cryptoverse, and you are wanting to receive Sunday swap tokens whenever they do that initial distribution to the initial stake pool offering, then I need your help. Go over to this website here. I'll leave a link to it in the pinned comment and in the description, and you need to vote for ITC, okay? And it's a little tricky if you're new to doing this. You actually basically just type in ITC. You'll find Into the Cryptoverse. It doesn't matter if you're an ITC or ITC2. They're lumped in the same category here. And then you're going to send this amount of ADA to yourself, okay? To yourself. You're not sending it to anyone else. You're just going to send it to yourself, okay? And the reason is because this 848 number is basically what they're using to say that it's a vote for Into the Cryptoverse, all right? And you can connect various wallets, or you can just go vote with any wallet. Note, you do have to pay the transaction fee. So when you send a transaction on the Cardano network, there is a fee, okay? It's a small fee. You can see what it is before you send it. If you don't like it and you say, yeah, it's too much, then just don't vote, right? Just don't vote. But if you don't mind voting, I would appreciate it. And the reason is because the winners, there's 30 pools that will win. The winners will automatically get distribution of some of these Sunday swap tokens. And when I say winners, I mean the people delegating with ITC. So hopefully you guys. Okay, if you're delegating your ADA to Into the Cryptoverse, then whenever they do their initial stake pool offering, in addition to the ADA that you're getting, you'll also get some Sunday swap tokens just in your wallet. Okay, so if you want to do that, please go vote. You can see that it's ending in 1 day and 7 hours. They might extend it. I don't know. If you go to the FAQ, I believe it says that they might extend it depending on what happens. Like when does the voting end? We currently plan to end it by the end of Epoch 302, but they might decide to hold it open for a few days longer. So we don't really know yet, but let's just be conservative and say, all right, if they stop it in 1 day and 7 hours, we'd like to make sure we're in the top 30. So good, go vote, get your vote sticker. Let's go talk about ADA. So ADA is, I would say it's reached the breakout window that we identified a few weeks ago. By a few weeks, I mean actually a couple months ago. We said back over here that, well, we said expect an appreciation going to launch of smart contracts, but then unfortunately, after the launch of smart contracts, we're probably going to get this type of a lull. Okay, it's not going to go straight up. We're going to have to grind out for a while. And we've seen that, okay? I mean, a lot of developers are waiting for the Plutus backend and whatnot to be fully functional and deployed in order to really get their dApps up and running. And I think that's fine. Things take time, and I don't anticipate things going at a super quick pace from here. But what I've said before is that you're not buying it for what it is today. You're buying it for what you think it will become. I also said that when ADA was at 2 cents. Okay, I said it when it was at 20 cents. I'll say it. I said it. It's now at $2. One day I'll probably say it at a much higher valuation than it is today. But you're not. You're buying what you think it's ultimately going to become. And so for me, when I came up with this window a couple months ago, it wasn't to say that on the exact week that we hit this window, it has to break out. It's just that to temper my own expectations, I don't foresee us doing anything like this in the short term, right? I mean, I know some people were a lot more hopeful that we would just go straight up, but I was a little bit more cautious and thinking that, look, guys, we're going to have to grind this out for a while. So now you can see we've reached what I previously called the breakout window. It spans from mid-November until late March. Okay. Do I have a crystal ball? No, I don't. Could I be wrong? Yeah, I could. I've been wrong plenty of times in my life. Okay, I'm not claiming to to know exactly what's going to happen. But this breakout window, of course, is contingent on Bitcoin staying healthy. Okay? If Bitcoin does not stay healthy, then clearly I don't think ADA is going to go to $4. The way that ADA can go to $4, or at least break the prior all-time high of $3 or just over $3, is if Bitcoin stays relatively healthy. What does that mean? It means we need to stay well above the 20-week SMA. And if we can stay above the 20-week SMA, then I think there's a good chance that ADA, this could be that breakout window for ADA. Okay, but again, it spans a while. I mean, you're talking about a span of approximately 18 weeks. And I don't mean to give such a large range to say, well, you know, it's just sort of like an easy target. It's just to say that I don't know exactly when it's going to happen. I think we're going to have a breakout at some point between now and the end of March. Okay, that's what I think. And is it possible that I could be proven wrong? It is, but this is what I'm looking for at this point. Note that ADA did. Well, so far, it's been holding its own bull market support band. So far, okay? Which, by the way, ranges from 199 to 205. Okay, we're currently at 204, but again, we're looking at holding either the 20-week SMA or the 21-week EMA. We care about weekly closes. Okay, we care about weekly closes, and so far we've been closing them, looks like above the 20-week moving average, even if right now we're technically below it. All right, so let's see what happens. Obviously, the most optimistic scenario from here, I think, would be to do something like this. A more pessimistic scenario, but still break out within this window, could be something like this, where it comes back down and then breaks out, right? So I would say let's just be conservative on all this stuff, and then be pleasantly surprised if it ends up moving to the upside. So I think we also need to go look at ADA Bitcoin, because this is one that, you know, I mean, historically we were moving up fairly quickly on it. We have in fact broken that general uptrend, but right now we're still consolidating around these prior levels that we were holding on to before. Now, if Bitcoin were to go parabolic, I do not anticipate ADA keeping up in the short term. Where ADA can actually move higher would be if Bitcoin just kind of hangs out here, right? Historically speaking, when Bitcoin is just hanging out at the prior all-time high, you don't usually see altcoins, put in insane gains, because everyone's kind of waiting for Bitcoin to do its thing to see whether it's going to go up or whether it's going to go back down. But we don't want to discount any possibilities, and we recognize that if Bitcoin were to just start hanging out at 65, 70K or something for a number of weeks, then that could be significant in terms of giving ADA hopefully a surge to move higher. We should also talk about the ADAETH valuation, okay? And recognize that in the short term, it has been bleeding against Ethereum. That's no surprise, right? It's no surprise. We've expected that it's an oscillator more or less against Ethereum, and right now it's been more or less consolidating here for a couple of weeks. My expectations for ADAETH, honestly, I don't really have any strong expectations. I have positions in Ethereum and positions in Cardano, and I'm happy with that. And if one outperforms another one for a while, that's fine. If it doesn't, I'm fine with that too. If the ADA valuation against Ether were to come back down here, which I don't really think it will, to be completely honest, but if it did, that could be an area to really load up on ADA for myself. Again, I don't offer financial advice, but I could see myself loading up on ADA a lot more if it were to go back down to that region. Other than that, I'm pretty content with things where I am with my ADA position and whatnot, and adding here and there, of course. But I do want to generally speak about ADAETH, ADA Bitcoin, because it does give you insight into what's happening. If you own an altcoin that can at least outperform the two blue chips, then you have to be critical of it. Okay, and at least ADA has been an oscillator, and there's a lot that don't oscillate. Right? There's a lot that don't. Go look at some other coins. Right, go look at Litecoin ETH. Right, Litecoin ETH is a great example of one that simply does not oscillate. It just bleeds. Right. The problem is that a lot of coins end up bleeding against Ethereum, And you have to consider that. I know a lot of you guys watching this are potentially 100% ADA, but I do think it is irresponsible, in my opinion, to have a portfolio that doesn't have the blue chips, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think that Cardano is going to carve out its own niche in the space. I don't think it's going to overtake Ethereum. These are my opinions. I know everyone doesn't agree with them, but that's what I think, right? I don't think it's going to overtake Ethereum, but it doesn't mean it can't be successful. It doesn't mean it can't carve out its own niche in the space. And that's ultimately where I see it headed, okay? So ADAETH has been bleeding recently. Yeah, it has, but at least it's more or less an oscillator against Ethereum. ADABTC, if we go back to ADABTC, we always have to make sure that we're not bleeding against Bitcoin too. Looks good, right? I mean, this is not a bleed at all. From say December 2020, ADABTC is up a very modest 500%, right? 500%, which is pretty good. Okay, so we've reached the breakout window of mid-November. When I said this, by the way, back in September, a lot of people are like, oh no, it's going to do it in October, it's going to do it in September. Look, sometimes you just need time. You need time for the market to accept it. Remember, ADA increased from approximately 2 cents to $2 in a relatively short period of time. I mean, all the way down here at less than 2 cents to the $2, to the $2 milestone in about 63 weeks. That's a 100x move in 63 weeks. So give it time. I do think ADA will ultimately prevail. But what do we need? We need time. So remember to go vote. If you haven't voted yet, you could only vote one time. So if you think you're going to get cute and vote a lot, don't bother, because only vote that counts is your last vote. Okay, so they'll track that. So make sure you only vote once, and then vote by ITC. You can see it, and then it'll change the amount you're supposed to send to 2.848. Okay, you can also vote for a second pool too. If you want to support a second pool, but please vote for Into the Cryptoverse. Send that amount of ADA to yourself, and I'll keep you updated. If we win, then that means that delegators to Into the Cryptoverse will receive some of those tokens. If we don't win, then we just move on, right? We move on. All right, guys, that'll wrap it up. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember, if you want to stake your ADA with ITC, if you're not staked yet, you can still do so. Just go to staking.intothecryptoverse.com and then click on Cardano, and there'll be a video on how to earn rewards on your ADA, and it'll walk you through step by step on how to do so. Okay? That'll wrap it up for the video. Subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.